So how you feel about yourself affects pretty much everything that happens to you. So I want to tell you a story now about a young lad, and this sign represents his self-esteem, okay? It says, I am lovable, capable and significant. And let's call this young lad Rodney. And so Rodney is 14, okay, and he's getting ready for school. So he gets up in the morning and he needs to go to the bathroom. So he opens his bedroom door, goes out into the hall, just about to go in the bathroom, and his big sister comes out of her bedroom, shoves him out the way, okay, goes in the bathroom, slams the door. So Rodney's standing outside now, and he's busting to have a pee, but he doesn't really feel like his sister cares about him. A bit of his self-esteem gets destroyed. So eventually gets in the bathroom, does his business, goes back into his bedroom to get dressed, and he can't find any clean socks. So he shouts down to his mum, Mum, can't find any socks. And she yells back, don't worry, Rodney, just wear the ones you had on yesterday. So he picks up his socks, gives them a quick sniff, don't smell too bad, but he puts them on, but he doesn't really feel like his mum cares because no clean clothes. So another piece of his self-esteem disappears. So anyway, he goes down for his breakfast, and he's a little bit late now, and his dad's already poured the milk in his Frosties, and it's been sitting there for 5 minutes. You know what that goes like? Yeah, all horrible and soggy. He looks at his Frosties as if to say, can I have some fresh? And his dad says, just eat it, son, come on. Doesn't feel like his dad cares. So he finishes his breakfast, he's now late, he's rushing around, goes out the front door, forgets his stuff. So his mum opens the door, and there's people walking by, and she says, Rodney, you idiot, you've forgotten your bag. You'd forget your head if it wasn't screwed on. So he goes back with his head down. Again, a bit of his self-esteem disappears. So he goes back out the path, runs down the road. The bus is just about to pull away. His mates are on the bus. And instead of saying to the bus conductor, hang on a sec, his mates just stick their fingers up. Bus goes off, leaves him standing there. Doesn't feel like his mates care about him. So he gets to school, there's a couple of bullies standing by the gate. Goes in the gate, bullies push him around, all his stuff falls on the floor, and they kind of tread on all his papers. Doesn't feel valued. That day in the canteen, a couple of his mates think it'd be funny if they trip him as he's walking along. Trips over, everything falls on the floor. Big round of applause. Humiliation. So he gets home from school. It's been a tough day. He gets home from school and he wants to watch the soaps. His sister wants to watch the cartoons. They have a little fight. She wins. They've got Brussels sprouts for tea. Hates Brussels sprouts. His turn to do the washing up. So now he's doing his homework, and he doesn't, it's maths, and he doesn't like maths much. So he turns around to his dad and says, Dad, will you help me with this? You know what his dad says? Do it yourself, son. Can't you see I'm busy? He's reading the newspaper. Another bit of self-esteem disappears. So he's got this crush on a girl at school, and last little bit of self-esteem he's got left, he thinks, I'm going to ring her. And he plucks up the courage, and he decides what he's going to say to her, and he dials the number. She picks up the phone. He says, hello, it's Rodney. She goes, Rodney who? And so Rodney goes to sleep that night, and that's all the self-esteem he's got left. Now, I can associate with this, because growing up for me was quite a painful experience. And over time, what happens to people is that their self-esteem gets torn to shreds and chipped away. And eventually, that's what happens. I don't know if, can any of you associate with this? Now, interestingly, there's a lot more negative stuff going on in society generally than positive. In fact, they did some research recently, and they followed parents around with their kids, and what they found was that, on average, young children hear, on average, this was the average count, 432 negative put-downs each day. Compare that to 32 positives. That's 13 times more negatives than positives. And that might explain, particularly in this country, why the UK right now, actually, there was a report that was done last year, and it's it highlighted the fact that the UK right now is one of the worst countries in the world for young people to grow up. One of the worst countries in the development world for young people to grow up. So this process is all about turning that around and rebuilding self-esteem and giving you back the most valuable ingredient of all. In fact, how you feel about yourself, self-esteem, more valuable than diamonds, money, bling, you know, you name it. How you feel about yourself is really important. So this program is about bigging yourself up. It's about stepping back into your power, rebuilding your self-esteem.